question becomes, is AI the beginning of the apocalypse, or is it the answer to things like low birth rates in Western countries and the need for immigration? KPMG's digital boss, John Munnelly, seems to think that AI is going to solve a whole lot of problems, especially for Western nations, as I said, with falling birth rates. He said ultimately the sort of work that we would have traditionally offshored to India will no longer need to offshore as much. We'll keep the revenue here in Australia, obviously, because robots will be doing the work we're relying on others to do. He says, to me, this has to be it. This has to be the opportunity for us to drive productivity without having to drive immigration. So, for instance, if you've got a warehouse that requires 2,000 workers, what if most of it was automated and you only required 200 workers? Well, then you could have a shrinking birth rate. You wouldn't have to import a workforce from overseas. You just get robots to do the jobs that otherwise would have had to have been done by human beings. And this is exactly the point that Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, made. Have a listen.
We'll be able to elevate the standard of living of countries and the standard of living of individuals, even with shrinking populations. And so the paradigm of negative population growth is going to be changing. And the social problems that one will have in substituting humans for machines is going to be far easier in those countries that have declining populations.
Now, I know you don't like Larry Fink, Liz, but what's wrong with what he's saying?
It's terrifying.
Well,
I mean, it's true.
It is terrifying because what we're saying is we're going to need less humans, which you'll notice in the backdrop there. He's speaking at the World Economic Forum, which believes that we're so overpopulated, there's too many humans. They're all about population control. So this would be music to their ears. But he said in another part of that speech, this will go very well for what he called xenophobic countries, simply because they haven't thrown their borders wide open to people from all around the world. Because, again, for the same reason, they've got shrinking birth rates, they won't need to rely on immigration anymore. Obviously, for a country like Australia, our question is, firstly, once this thing takes off, what are we going to do with the loads of people that we've imported in February, 200,000 alone? Like, we are talking mind-blowing numbers that we are funneling into our country. Is it a surprise to anyone that 1/3 of us wasn't even born here in Australia? What are we going to do with all these masses of people when you look at even the highly skilled? So it's not just low skilled like factory workers that robots are going to be able to replace. We're talking highly skilled, as we just did there with surgeons. How many jobs are going to be left for human beings to earn money, put a roof over their heads and provide for their families?